I pull into my parents' driveway, the tires crunching on the fresh snow. The Colonial stands pristine in the suburban twilight of Ashland, a perfect Christmas card image. December in Dayton always delivers this picturesque snow globe effect. It's a cold beauty, a perfect match for the Morrison family Christmas tradition. My hands tremble, just slightly. I check my lipstick in the rearview mirror. Dark red, confident. Just tell them about the promotion, I whisper to my reflection. I'd rehearsed the words on the entire 2-hour drive. Creative director at 31. They can't dismiss that. They just can't. The trunk is packed with carefully wrapped presents, each one selected with a painful, agonizing precision meant to prove my thoughtfulness. Beneath them, hidden in my purse, a small velvet box feels like it's burning a hole through the leather. David's ring. I bought it on an installment plan I can barely afford, but some sacrifices are worth it. This one was for me. The front door swings open, spilling light onto the snow. My father, Theo, stands there. His smile is genuine but distracted, his eyes already glancing over his shoulder, anticipating whatever crisis my mother, Martha, is manufacturing in the kitchen. "Hannah, you made it," he says. He pulls me into a quick, familiar hug that smells of Old Spice and pine. Before I can even say Merry Christmas, Mom appears behind him. Her critical eyes sweep over me like searchlights, cataloging every flaw in seconds. "That green dress washes you out, dear," she says, bypassing hello entirely. "I wish you'd worn the navy one I bought you for your birthday. It was far more slimming." I swallow the familiar sting, forcing a smile that feels brittle. "Merry Christmas to you too, Mom. If you're watching this video, tell me where you're from or what time it is for you." I step inside. The living room is a museum of Christmas past, locked in time. The same tinsel, the same ceramic angels, the same suffocating scent of cinnamon and disapproval that has adorned these walls for 3 decades. Cousin Jim and his wife occupy the love seat, looking trapped. Uncle Ray nurses his usual whiskey by the fireplace, his eyes already glazed. And in her designated armchair, Grandma Evelyn sits, her gaze sharp. Her eyes crinkle with genuine warmth as she spots me. "There's my Hannah," she says, extending a frail, ring-covered hand. I navigate the obstacle course of relatives, heading straight for her. She's my only sanctuary in this house. But before I can reach her, my brother, Elias, intercepts me. He plants himself in the center of the room, commanding the attention he always does. "Just secured financing for the North Office expansion," Elias announces to the room at large, not even bothering with a greeting for me. He beams, adjusting the cuffs of his $1,000 shirt. "Orthopedic surgery is about to become the most profitable specialty in Colorado. Mark my words." As if summoned, his partner, Clarissa, materializes beside him, a designer handbag swinging from her wrist like a weapon. "Speaking of profitable," she chimes in, her voice slicing through the room, "the firm just made me senior associate last month." She actually extracts a stack of business cards from her wallet and begins passing them around like communion wafers. "Youngest female senior associate in the history of Bergman and Walsh," she says, handing one to me. I look down at the heavy, embossed cardstock. It feels like an accusation. I place my own offering on the coffee table, a handmade family scrapbook. I spent weeks on it. Hours of work, collecting old photos, writing captions, carefully preserving memories I wasn't even sure I wanted to keep. Mom glances at it, her lips thinning. "Oh, that's crafty, dear." She nudges it aside with one finger to make room for a copy of Elias's latest medical journal, as if my scrapbook was a coaster. From her corner, Grandma Evelyn catches my eye. She sees the slight, the casual dismissal. She offers the slightest, almost imperceptible shake of her head. She sees everything. She always has. We're finally at the table. Dad carves the turkey with surgical precision, his hands steady and sure in a way mine never are at these gatherings. The perfect identical slices fall onto the antique Wedgwood china as relatives pass serving dishes around the table in a practiced, joyless ritual. The air is thick with unspoken tensions and the clinking of silverware. Elias is pontificating about a new surgical technique. Clarissa is one-upping him with a story about a corporate merger she just closed. Mom is supervising it all, her face a mask of proud approval. My wine glass is nearly empty. I've been waiting for the right moment, but there is no right moment. There never is. I just have to make one. I clear my throat. The sound is small, too small. I try again, louder. I have some news. Elias pauses mid-gesticulation. Clarissa looks annoyed at the interruption. Mom's gaze snaps to me, already wary. David and I were engaged. The words hang in the air, heavy and fragile. The only sound in the suffocating silence is Grandma Evelyn's soft, deliberate clapping. Her weathered hands create a tiny, brave applause. Mom sets her wine glass down with deliberate, agonizing care. The crystal makes a sharp, cold sound against the table. Her mouth forms a thin, bloodless line before she speaks. "Well," she says. Each word is a perfectly polished stone, measured and cold. "I suppose someone had to take you. You're the most useless child we have." The table falls silent. Utterly, completely silent. The sound of Grandma Evelyn's clapping dies. Elias stares intently at his plate, suddenly fascinated by his green beans. Clarissa examines her fresh manicure. Dad's carving knife pauses, hovering over the turkey. I wait for it. I wait for the familiar, hot burn of tears behind my eyes. I wait for the instinct to flee, to run to the guest bathroom and lock the door and compose myself before returning to the table to pretend it never happened. But it doesn't come. Instead, an unexpected, profound calm washes over me. It's like stepping into the eye of a hurricane I've been battling my entire life. The noise just stops. My phone sits beside my plate. I pick it up. My hand is perfectly steady. I unlock it, open my banking app, and begin to scroll. Transaction after transaction, date after date, amount after amount. Mom watches me, her eyes narrowing. "Hannah, don't be dramatic. It was a simple observation." But my posture has changed. Dad notices it first. He sees the straightening of my spine, the slight lift of my chin. He sets the carving knife down slowly. Confusion and a new, dawning fear are etched across his face. "Hannah," he ventures, his voice hesitant. "What are you doing?" I look up. I don't look at Dad. I don't look at Elias or Clarissa. I meet my mother's gaze directly, holding it for what feels like the first time in 31 years. "Then stop calling when you need money," I say. My voice is steady. It's clear. It cuts through the Christmas dinner silence like a scalpel. I can almost hear the foundation of the house crack beneath us. The family hierarchy, rigid and unchanged for decades, shifts like tectonic plates. "What did you say to me?" Martha's voice is dangerously low. "I said," I repeat, holding her gaze, "stop calling me when you need money. If I'm so useless, why am I the one you always call?" "That is an outrageous accusation," Martha snaps, her face flushing a dull, angry red. "We are your family." "Are you?" I ask. I turn my phone screen so she can see the glowing list of transactions. "Or am I just your line of credit?" "Hannah, stop this," Theo pleads, his voice strained. "It's Christmas. Whatever this is, it can wait." "No, Dad, it can't. It's waited 30 years. I look back at my mother. "You want to talk about usefulness, Mom? Let's talk about it. Let's do a little financial review for the family." Grandma Evelyn's smile spreads slowly, like ink on paper. She leans back in her chair as the dining room table becomes a battlefield. My small revolution finally, irrevocably declared. I scroll through my banking app, the blue light of the screen illuminating the shocked, angry, and shamed faces around the table. The silence is a physical weight, pressing down on everyone. "Let me show you something interesting," I say. My voice is cool and level as a boardroom presentation. I tap the screen. December 3rd, $150. Sent to Matthew's Leasing. That's for your Lexus, isn't it, Mom? Martha's face tightens. That was a loan, a temporary arrangement. A loan implies repayment, Mom. Let's keep going. My finger taps the screen again. November 15th, 2050. I look at Dad. Your knee surgery deductible. Remember how worried you were about meeting it before the year end? You called me in a panic. I covered it. Theo's eyes drop to his plate. He can't look at me. October 2nd, $3,200. My gaze shifts, locking onto Clarissa. Bar exam prep course, the premium package, with the private tutors. You said it was a critical career investment you couldn't afford right after your trip to Aruba. Clarissa's cheeks flush, a bright, blotchy pink against her cream blouse. Elias and I were going to pay you back. Were you? I ask, my voice devoid of emotion. August 24th, $4,500. A wire transfer. I turn to my brother, Elias. Those lingering student loans. The ones that were complicating the ratios and keeping you from qualifying for your practice loan. I paid them off. Elias just stares at me, his mouth slightly open. For the first time in his life, he has no words. Grandma Evelyn's hand covers mine on the table just for a second, a warm, steady anchor in the storm I'm unleashing. I kept scrolling, I say to the table. 3 years of transactions, little things, big things, emergencies. It totals $42,635. The number hangs in the air, burning on the screen, and not a single solitary repayment. Martha's wine sloshes dangerously close to the rim of her glass. Families help each other, she hisses, her voice trembling with rage. That's what we do. Why are you counting? No, Mom, I say, standing up slowly. Families support each other. This was exploitation. You used me. All of you. You could have said no if it was such a burden, Clarissa snaps, finding her voice. It's high and defensive. Nobody forced you. Nobody held a gun to your head. You're an adult. A laugh escapes me. It's a short, bitter, surprising sound. You're right, Clarissa. No gun. Just 30 years of emotional manipulation. Just the dangling, pathetic promise that if I just gave a little more, worked a little harder, solved one more crisis, I might finally be worth something to this family. What exactly are you implying? Mom's eyes narrow to slits. I'm not implying anything. I'm stating facts. I look at her, then at my dad. My lease renewal depends on the bonus I just got, the bonus you, Mom, asked me for half of last week for the urgent bathroom remodel. Theo looks genuinely shocked. He turns to Martha. Margaret? You didn't tell me that. You said the contractor gave us a discount. I am taking night courses, I continue, the words flowing now, a river breaking through a dam, David and I, toward our MBAs. His teacher's salary barely covers our current expenses. I hold up my left hand, letting the modest diamond catch the chandelier light. This engagement ring? It's on an installment plan. Because every single time I get a savings account above zero, one of you has an emergency. Every single time. Martha slams her palm on the table. The silverware rattles. The Wedgwood jumps. How dare you, she shouts, her voice cracking. How dare you air our private business in front of everyone when I tell people what you've done, what I've done? The question hangs between us. What exactly have I done, Mom? Supported this family, paid your bills, funded your lifestyles while being treated like I'm nothing? Is that what I've done? The realization washes over me, crystal clear amid the wreckage of Christmas dinner. My voice softens, not from weakness, but from the strange, cold power of finally understanding. I just wanted you to see me, to be proud of me, but my worth was never ever going to come from you, was it? I close the banking app with a decisive tap. The screen goes dark. My purse sits beside my chair. I pick it up, gathering it with careful, deliberate precision. Every movement is intentional. "The Bank of Hannah is officially closed," I announce to the silent room. A genuine smile, the first one all evening, spreads across my face. It feels strange and light. Grandma Evelyn's whispered word cuts through the stunned silence. Finally. Her weathered hands are gripping her napkin, her eyes gleaming with something that looks a lot like pride. There's no dramatic exit needed, no tears, no slamming doors, no shouting. Just the quiet, profound dignity of walking away from the table, walking away from the patterns, the roles, the whole toxic play they had cast me in long before I had the language to name it. I walk through the living room, past the Museum of Christmases Past, and toward the front door. The front door closes behind me with a gentle, final click. The snow is falling steadily now, heavier than before. It's already covering the driveway in a fresh, clean, white blanket. My footprints are the only things disturbing it. As I walk toward my car, I hear the crunch of snow behind me. "Hannah, wait!" It's Dad. He's followed me out, wearing just his cardigan, no coat. It's insufficient against the December cold. His breath forms clouds in the frigid air. I stop, my hand on the car door, but I don't turn to face him. "Holly, Hannah," he stammers. "Your mother. She didn't mean it. You know how she gets." "I know exactly how she gets, Dad," I say, my voice flat. "I'm just done participating. Don't do this," he pleads. Don't ruin Christmas." "Christmas was already ruined," I say, finally turning to look at him. His face is a mask of misery and helplessness. "It was ruined the moment I was told I was useless after funding this family for 3 years. Where were you, Dad? Why didn't you say anything?" He has no answer. He just looks at the ground. She's your mother. And you're my father," I reply. "But you've spent my entire life choosing her, choosing peace over me." Through the front window, I can see a tableau frozen in the dining room. Grandma Evelyn has a firm grip on Mom's arm, physically preventing her from following me out. Elias and Clarissa are standing, whispering furiously to each other. The relatives are all staring at their plates. "I'll talk to you later, Dad," I say, my voice softening just a fraction. "Not tonight, I can't tonight." I get in my car. The engine turns over with a reassuring hum. As I back out of the driveway, my phone buzzes. A text from my cousin, Lila. "I saw everything. Call me tomorrow." That was incredible. I put the phone on silent and pull away from the curb, leaving the perfect picturesque house and its perfect broken family behind me. The drive home feels strangely peaceful. There are no tears blurring my vision as I navigate the familiar snow-covered streets of Ashland, heading back to my small apartment in Dayton. For the first time in my adult life, I've stood my ground. The sensation is foreign, almost uncomfortable in its newness, but it's also solid. David is waiting up. The apartment is warm and smells like the Mullinger spice he loves. He's got a bottle of wine breathing on the counter, 2 glasses ready. He takes one look at my face and knows. He doesn't even have to ask. "Your mom called," he says quietly, taking my coat and hanging it up. 3 times. "While you were driving. Did you answer?" "No," he says. "I figured you should be the one to decide if you ever wanted to talk to her again." I pull out my phone. 3 missed calls from Martha Morrison. 1 voicemail. I delete it without listening. With a decisive swipe, I switch off all notifications. "First peaceful Christmas night in years," I murmur. David pulls me into a hug, his teacher's salary sweater rough and comforting against my cheek. "I've been waiting for you to see what I see," he whispers. "You're the strongest person I know, Hannah. They don't deserve you." "I know," I say. And the strangest part is, I think I finally mean it. My phone buzzes one last time before I silence it completely. A text from my best friend, Rachel. "Guest room is ready, just in case. Call me when you can. So proud of you." Later, lying in bed beside a sleeping David, I stare at the ceiling. My holiday bonus remains untouched in my savings account. The weight of the broken family relationships, the confrontation, the finality of it all settles in. It's a bittersweet feeling, a strange mix of liberation and loss. But for the first time, it's not crushing me. The Bank of Hannah is closed, and I'm keeping the assets for myself. The retaliation is faster and more brutal than I could have imagined. 2 days later, Martha's email arrives at 6:43 a.m. I'm still wrapped in blankets, sipping my first coffee when the message loads. The recipient list is a nightmare. Extended family, old family friends, neighbors, even a few of Elias's colleagues she'd networked with. The subject line reads, "Concerning Hannah's betrayal." My stomach turns to concrete as I scan the carefully crafted paragraphs. She paints a picture of my shocking and aggressive Christmas behavior, my cruel and unhinged accusations, and my selfish abandonment of core family values. She mentions her high blood pressure, my father's broken heart, and her fears for my mental stability. "After all we've sacrificed for her," she writes, "our daughter has chosen selfishness over loyalty. We ask for your prayers during this difficult time." It's a masterpiece of manipulation, painting me as a monster and her as the martyred victim. David's arm wraps around my waist. He reads the email over my shoulder, his jaw tightening. "You knew this was coming," he whispers into my hair. "Remember what Dr. Levinson said in therapy? Their reaction isn't your responsibility. This is an extinction burst. It's what happens when a narcissist loses control." The phone buzzes again. Clarissa. Her name flashes on the screen like a warning light. I hesitate, then answer, putting it on speaker. "Hannah? How could you?" Clarissa's voice breaks with such theatrical precision, she must have rehearsed it. "Mom, Martha is... She's barely gotten out of bed for 2 days. I've had to take a personal day from the firm to manage this. She just keeps asking what she did wrong." I stay silent. I can hear the manufactured tears in her voice. "Everyone is just shocked," Clarissa continues, her voice dropping to a tearful whisper. "I've had to call our mutual friends just to run interference, and they can't believe how you've abandoned us." Suddenly, there's a muffled sound. "What?" "No, I'm on the phone," I hear Clarissa hiss. And then, clear as day, I hear Elias in the background. "That's enough, Clarissa. You're laying it on way too thick. Just get to the point." There's a sharp click as Clarissa hangs up. I stare at the phone. David looks at me. "Did you hear that?" I ask. "He told her she was laying it on too thick," David says, a slow smile spreading across his face. "That's a crack, Hannah. That's the first crack in the wall." The smear campaign is humiliating, but the brief crackle of truth from Elias gives me a strange surge of energy. The next day, I go to work at Apex Media. I walk into my supervisor's office, close the door, and tell her a sanitized version of events. "I'm in the middle of a serious family dispute," I say. "My mother has started an email campaign. It's possible some of it might splash back here. I wanted you to be prepared." My supervisor, a no-nonsense woman named Sarah, just nods. "Family drama. Got it. Is it a security risk?" "I don't think so," I say. "But they are manipulative, especially my brother's partner, Clarissa. She's a lawyer at Bergman and Walsh." Sarah's eyes sharpen. "Good to know. We'll alert the front desk. Your performance here is what matters, Hannah. And speaking of..." She slides a letter across the desk. "The board approved it. Congratulations, creative director. It's official. And the raise is retroactive to the 1st of the month." I walk out of her office holding the letter, the new title, the salary bump. It's a shield. It's armor. It's proof, in writing, that my mother is wrong. I am not useless. I am valued. That night, fueled by this new validation, David and I get to work. We don't just rely on my banking app. We pull 3 years of bank statements, credit card bills, and Venmo histories. We open a new spreadsheet. "What was this one for?" David asks, pointing to a $500 charge. Mom's emergency dental crown, I reply, typing it in. And this? Clarissa's plane ticket for her networking trip to D.C. We work for hours, dates, amounts, supposed purposes. The numbers pile up, column by column. When we finally hit sum, we both just stare at the screen. $42,635. I blink at the number. It's both smaller and larger than I'd imagined. Small enough to wonder how they'd blown through it so quickly on car payments and spa days. Large enough, David points out, to have been the down payment on a home. Our home. They didn't just take your money, Hannah, David says, his voice quiet and hard. They stole our future. I save the file. The Bank of Hannah closed, XLSX. And my resolve, which had been shaken by the smear campaign, hardens into steel. I establish new routines, boundaries. I block Martha's and Clarissa's numbers. I set up an email filter that sends anything from them, or with my name in the subject line from extended family, into a separate folder I've labeled Poison. My Thursday lunch hour at the Cedar Creek Cafe becomes my sanctuary. It's my favorite downtown spot, bright and airy. I always get my favorite corner table by the plate glass windows. The spring sunshine streams in, and I spread my marketing briefs out beside my sandwich. My phone is face down, a newly established, sacred boundary. I'm so deep into a new campaign brief for Apex Media that I don't look up when the cafe door chimes. I don't look up until I sense a shadow, someone hovering at my table. It's Mom, and Clarissa, half a step behind her, like a vulture's shadow. My throat tightens instantly. My sanctuary, my safe space. They've invaded it. They've cornered me. They chose a public setting deliberately, knowing I hate making a scene. Holly. Hannah, Mom says, her voice pitched just loud enough to turn heads at the next table. Her eyes are rimmed with red, her makeup carefully applied to enhance the appearance of exhaustion and grief. Clarissa clutches her designer handbag like a shield. We need to talk. Mom slides into the chair opposite mine without waiting for an invitation. Clarissa hovers, then sits beside her. The marketing briefs between us feel like an comically inadequate barrier. How could you do this to your family? Mom's voice breaks, the tears appearing right on cue. After everything we've done for you. Dad's knee is getting worse, Clarissa adds, leaning forward, her voice a conspiratorial, urgent whisper. The doctor says he needs another procedure, an expensive one. She narrows her eyes. Is that what you want, Hannah? For him to suffer? All because you're being selfish? The word hangs in the air. Selfish. Their favorite weapon. I feel the old panic rise, the urge to fold, to apologize, to write a check. But then I see the spreadsheet in my mind. 48,635. I lift my coffee cup. My hand is steady. I take a slow, deliberate sip. The warm liquid centers me. I set the mug down with a soft, firm click against the saucer. I love you both, I say. My voice is so steady it surprises me. But love doesn't require self-sacrifice. Not like this. Mom's eyes widen. This isn't the script. I'm not supposed to be calm. I'm supposed to be crying, defending myself, or giving in. Dad's health is not dependent on my bank account, I continue, my voice gaining strength. And we both know his insurance, the premium plan I helped him pick out, covers 80% of any necessary procedure. You don't understand, Mom starts, her grieving mother mask slipping, revealing the anger beneath. I understand perfectly. I cut her off, not with a shout, but with a raised hand, a simple, powerful gesture. You're not here because you miss me. You're not here because you're worried about Dad. You're here because you miss my money. You're here because the Bank of Hannah closed, and you've just realized you can't pay your bills. Heads are definitely turned now. The table of women next to us has stopped talking. How dare you, Clarissa hisses, her face pale with fury. You are making a scene. I'm not, I say calmly. You are. You're the ones who ambushed me at my private lunch. You're the ones who brought up private medical information in a public cafe. You're the ones who are here to demand money." Just then, the cafe manager, Valerie, approaches. "I've been coming here for years." "Everything okay here, Miss Morrison?" Valerie asks, her eyes moving from my calm face to Martha's tear-streaked, angry one. "Your usual table is always reserved for you." It's an unexpected lifeline, an ally. "Everything's fine, Valerie," I say, giving her a grateful nod. "My mother and sister were just leaving." Mom's mouth drops open. She's in shock. This isn't how it goes. I'm supposed to be the one who leaves, humiliated. I'm the one who is supposed to be dismissed. I reach for my wallet. I pull out a 20, counting out bills for their coffees, and place them deliberately on the table between us. "This is the last bill I'll pay for you," I say quietly, but loud enough for them to hear. "Ever. Now please leave my table. You're interrupting my work." For a second, I think Clarissa might lunge at me. Her eyes are slits of pure venom. But Martha, seeing she's lost the audience and the upper hand, grabs her arm. They stand, defeated. They turn and walk out of the cafe. The bell on the door chimes, announcing their retreat. I take a deep, shuddering breath. I turn back to my marketing briefs. My hands are trembling now, the adrenaline finally hitting, but I'm still sitting. I won. I can't focus on the briefs. The adrenaline is singing in my veins. I text David, "Ambushed at Cedar Creek. Handled it. I'm okay." His reply is instant. "On my way. Don't move." I'm packing up my things when my friend Rachel slides into the seat my mother just vacated. "Don't pack up," she says, a strange, fierce grin on her face. "I'm buying you another coffee and probably a slice of cake. My God, Hannah, that was epic. Rachel, you were here. You saw that. I was at the corner table by the counter," she says, her eyes gleaming. "Saw them walk in and beeline for you. I knew exactly what was happening." She pulls out her phone. "And I wasn't just watching." She taps her screen, and my own voice fills the air, clear and steady. "You're not here because you miss me. You're here because you miss my money." I stare at her. You recorded it?" 10 full minutes, Rachel says, tapping her phone. "From the second Clarissa mentioned your dad's expensive procedure to the moment you told them to leave. I got Martha's crocodile tears. I got Clarissa's threats. I got your entire magnificent takedown. I even got the part where Valerie stepped in. It's all here." My mind races. This isn't just validation. This is leverage. This is proof. The smear campaign was just their word against mine. This is a weapon. "Send it to me," I say, my voice low. "Right now, and Rachel, thank you." "Are you kidding?" she says, already airdropping the file. "That was the best lunch special I've ever seen. Now, what's Clarissa's boss's name? I wonder if Bergman and Walsh would be interested in seeing how their youngest senior associate spends her lunch hour." "Not yet," I say, watching the file transfer complete. "Let's just hold on to this. This is my insurance policy." David arrives minutes later, his face tight with worry. I show him the video. His worry melts into pure, unadulterated pride. "Hannah," he says, taking my hand, "you have them. You finally, truly have them." The video sits on my work computer, backed up to my personal cloud. It feels like a shield. For the first time, I have something more powerful than my own memory. A few nights later, there's an unexpected knock at our apartment door. It's not the insistent, angry knock of my mother. It's hesitant. David and I look at each other. He checks the peephole. "It's your dad," he says, surprised. "He's alone." I hesitate, my hand on the chain. "It's okay," David murmurs. "I'm right here." I open the door. Dad is standing in the hallway, his shoulders slumped under his worn canvas jacket. He looks smaller than I've ever seen him. He's clutching a manila folder. "Can I come in?" he asks, his eyes darting down the corridor as if he's afraid of being seen, afraid Martha might materialize. I nod, opening the door wider. He sits awkwardly on the edge of our couch, the one I bought without asking for his financial advice. He places his hands, clasped, between his knees. I never knew, he says finally, his voice thick. How much? I never knew how much you were paying. Mom didn't tell you? I ask. It's not an accusation, just a question. He shakes his head, his eyes fixed on the floor. She told me they were small loans, birthday gifts you'd given us. She said you offered. When I worried about the surgery deductible, she said, "Don't worry, Hannah's handling it. She got a big bonus." She made it sound like it was nothing to you. He opens the folder. Inside is the spreadsheet. My spreadsheet. I must have left a printed copy in my car at Christmas, or I found this, he says, in the recycling bin. She'd thrown it out. I pulled it out. I read it, all of it. He opens it, revealing the organized columns of numbers. The Lexus, the bar prep. My God, Hannah, my knee. I told you I was handling it, Dad. You never asked how. His face crumples. He finally looks at me, and his eyes are filled with tears. I'm so sorry. I failed you. As a father, I failed you. He takes a deep, shaky breath. I'm going back to work, full time. I called Peterson's firm this morning. They have an opening in the engineering department. I'm starting Monday. Dad, you don't have to. I do, he interrupts, his voice gaining a sliver of its old strength. I'm your father. I'm supposed to protect you. Instead, I let her. I let this happen. I let them feed on you. It stops. I'm going to pay you back, Hannah. I don't know how long it will take, but I'll pay back every cent that went to me. And the car. We're selling the Lexus. He's crying now, openly. And for the first time, I don't feel anger. I just feel an immense, hollowing sadness for both of us. I start a journal, not a diary of feelings, but a log, a sterile record of family interactions. I document Theo's visit. I create a new email folder labeled Family Boundaries and file away Martha's betrayal email. The very act of organization, of documenting, feels like reclaiming power. I feel secure. I have the video. I have my father's confession. I have my spreadsheet. I have evidence. The next week, a thick envelope arrives at my office from Bergman and Walsh, sent by Priority Courier. My hands are cold as I open it. It's not a letter from Clarissa. It's a formal cease and desist on firm letterhead, signed by a senior partner I don't know. It accuses me of violating state wiretapping laws by illegally recording a private conversation in the Cedar Creek Cafe. It demands I immediately destroy all copies of the illicit recording and sign an affidavit confirming its destruction. It threatens swift legal action, including civil damages and criminal charges, if I fail to comply. My blood runs cold. I call David, my voice trembling. They're threatening to sue me, to press charges, over the video. She's bluffing, David says, but his voice is tight. She has to be. She's the one who was extorting you. But is she, David? Legally? It's a two-party consent state. Rachel recorded them without their knowledge. Clarissa's a lawyer. She knows. She knows she's got me. The next morning, I go to my work computer at Apex Media to review the video file, to see just how bad it is. I log in. I go to the folder. It's empty. I freeze. I check my recycle bin. Nothing. I check my cloud backup. The folder is there, but it's also empty. I call IT, my heart hammering. "Oh yeah, Ms. Morrison," the text says. "We had a weird server glitch last night. Looks like a few temp folders on your drive got corrupted and wiped. Sorry about that. Hope you didn't lose anything important." A server glitch. A random corruption. I hang up the phone, feeling sick. This was no glitch. Bergman and Walsh is a massive firm. They have a tech division. Clarissa knew I had the file. She knew it was on my work computer. She, or someone she hired, hacked my system and destroyed it. The leverage is gone. The insurance policy is canceled. The one piece of irrefutable proof I had, it's just gone. It's my word against theirs all over again. And Clarissa just proved how dirty she's willing to play. The engagement party is in 2 days. We're just having it at our apartment complex's clubhouse. Simple, cheap, and pointedly not at my parents' house. Martha and Clarissa are, of course, not invited. The night before, my doorbell rings. It's late, after 9. David is at his weekly basketball game. I'm alone. I check the peephole. It's Martha, alone. She's clutching a large, battered manila envelope to her chest. My hand hovers over the doorknob. My heart is racing. The cease and desist, the wiped video. This is not a social call. This is an escalation. The doorbell rings again, more insistent. I open the door, but I position myself firmly in the threshold. I block the entry, the last boundary I have left. "Hannah," she says. Her voice is different. Not angry, not grieving. It's that soft, wounded dignity voice that always worked on me. May I come in? Just for a minute?" "I'm busy, Mom," I say, my voice flat. "I'm preparing for my engagement party tomorrow. What's this about?" She extends the envelope, her hand trembling just enough to be noticeable. I found these. While I was cleaning out the attic, I thought you might want them. My curiosity wins out over my caution. I take the package. Inside are childhood photographs, dozens of them, pictures I've never seen or had forgotten. Me at 6, beaming, blowing out birthday candles, 10-year-old me at the science fair, clutching a blue ribbon, teenage me awkward and hopeful in my first formal dress for a dance. "Remember?" Mom's voice softens, her eyes misting strategically. "Remember how happy we were before all this unpleasantness?" I thumb through the photos, feeling that old familiar pull, that desperate childish hunger for proof that I belonged, that I was loved, that it wasn't always bad. "The family is falling apart, Hannah." Her hand reaches for my arm, but I step back and she lets it fall. "Your father, he's devastated. He's not himself. Elias barely speaks to us. Clarissa cries herself to sleep every night." I say nothing. My silence unsettles her more than any argument. She takes a breath and plays her trump card. Dr. Williamson, an old friend of the family, a wonderful therapist. She's agreed to host a family counseling session next Tuesday. Everyone's committed to attending. Even Grandma Evelyn thinks it's a good idea. She's begging you to come, to fix this. The lie is so blatant, so desperate, it snaps me out of my nostalgic haze. Grandma Evelyn would never. She'd be the one telling me to run faster. It's the same tactic she used when I was 16, convincing me Dad had approved my babysitting the neighbors' kids 3 nights a week, money that somehow always ended up paying for Clarissa's dance competition fees. "Thank you for the memories, Mom," I say, tapping the envelope against my palm. "But this doesn't change anything. Hannah, please. For your father." "I appreciate you thinking of me," I say, my voice measured and calm. It's a new feeling, and I'm still getting used to it. "I'll consider the counseling. But right now, I need to prepare for my party." Her mouth tightens at the mention of the event she wasn't invited to. "Your father misses you." "Dad knows where to find me," I say. "He's welcome anytime." I begin closing the door, slowly but firmly. I need to go now. Good night, Mom. The door clicks shut. I lean against it, my heart pounding, but not with fear, with certainty. I didn't break. I didn't fold. David comes home an hour later. I'm sitting on the living room floor, the photos spread out across our coffee table like a crime scene. "Trip down memory lane?" he asks, kissing my forehead. "Courtesy of Martha Morrison," I say. Phase 2 of the manipulation campaign. He sits on the floor beside me, cross-legged, studying each image with a historian's critical eye. He's quiet for a long time. "Notice anything?" he asks finally. I shake my head. "Just A lot of bad 90s fashion. His finger points to a photo. Christmas morning, 1998. Elias and Clarissa are center stage, grinning, surrounded by a mountain of presents. I'm on the absolute edge of the frame, partially obscured by the tree, holding a single small box. You're always on the edge, he says. He points to another, my high school graduation. I'm in my cap and gown, holding my honor roll certificate, but I'm half hidden behind Dad, who is beaming at Elias. He points to another, a family vacation to the Grand Canyon. Elias, Clarissa, Mom, and Dad are all posed at the railing. "Where are you?" he asks. "Oh," I say, the memory surfacing. "I was taking the picture." "Exactly," David says. "You're not in the family photos, Hannah. You're the one holding the camera. You're the one documenting the happy family you were never quite a part of." He taps a photo of me at 16, standing beside Mrs. Peterson's twin toddlers. "Isn't this when you started that babysitting job?" "The one you said was so intense?" 3 nights a week, I murmur, the memory crystallizing. $20 a night. Mom said they were desperate for help and that I needed to build character. $20 a night 3 times a week, David calculates. For 2 years. That's over $6,000, which you said became Clarissa's dance competition fees, which then became your parents' anniversary trip, which, he says, his voice holding no judgment, just quiet, devastating observation, became the seed money for the Bank of Hannah. I stare at the evidence arranged before me. The patterns emerge like constellations, cold and distant and undeniable. These aren't treasured memories. This is a logbook of my systematic exclusion. This was my training. I gather the photos and stack them neatly. I reach for my laptop. "I'm starting a new album," I say, "one that begins tomorrow, with our engagement." "Perfect first entry," David says, pulling me close. "And this time, you're in the center of every damn picture." The clubhouse looks amazing. String lights are crisscrossed above patio furniture we borrowed from Rachel's parents. Colleagues from Apex Media are mingling with David's teacher friends. Champagne flutes are catching the golden sunset light. It's warm, it's happy, and it's ours. I'm helping Grandma Evelyn to a chair, her hand light on my arm. "You did well, child," she murmurs, surveying the crowd. "You built this, a real family." Just as she says it, a ripple of tension sweeps through the gathering. The laughter falters. I turn. Clarissa is standing at the clubhouse gate. Elias hovers uncomfortably behind her, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else on earth. "Families should be invited to engagement celebrations," Clarissa announces. Her voice is loud, carrying across the patio, deliberately performative. She strides into the yard like she's entering a courtroom, her heels digging into the grass. Conversations pause. Glasses freeze mid-sip. All eyes track the unfolding drama. David's hand finds the small of my back. It's steady and warm. A silent question. "You or me?" I shake my head just slightly. "I'm good." Clarissa reaches us just as Dad appears through the gate behind them. He looks mortified, embarrassed, and determined, all at once. "Clarissa, this is not the time," he's muttering. "What are you doing here?" I ask, my voice quiet but firm. "We're still your family, Hannah," Clarissa says, her voice rising, ensuring everyone can hear. "You can't just cut us out. You can't just erase us. It's cruel." Rachel moves protectively toward me, holding a champagne bottle by the neck. It's not clear if she's going to offer a drink or use it as a weapon. David's father, unaware of the brewing storm, taps his glass for a toast. If I could have everyone's attention, to Hannah and David. 2 extraordinary people, one a teacher of history and one, it seems, a teacher of boundaries. Quiet, supportive laughter ripples through our friends. The comment and the laughter just fuels Clarissa's rage. "Family should come first," Clarissa interrupts, her voice shrill. Tears are brimming, right on cue. Before careers, before fiancés, before... This is about Holly's future. Grandma Evelyn's voice. It's not loud, but it cuts through the tension like a knife through butter. She's still seated, but she looks regal, which is exactly what family should celebrate, not sabotage. The brutal simplicity of her words silences everyone. My colleagues from Apex exchange glances. They're witnessing firsthand the toxicity I've only tried to explain in break-room conversations. "Theo," Clarissa appeals to our father, her voice desperate now. She's lost the crowd. Tell her this isn't right. Tell her we're leaving." Dad looks at me. He really, truly looks at me. Not as a problem to be managed, not as a source of income, not as an extension of my mother. He looks at me. Then he sets his glass down on a nearby table. He straightens his shoulders. "I'm staying," he says, his voice quiet but clear. "This is my daughter's engagement party. I'm staying." Clarissa's face crumples. This is the ultimate betrayal. Her ally, the family's traditional peacekeeper, has just publicly switched sides. She spins on her heel, mascara already tracking down her cheeks, and storms out of the gate. Elias remains frozen in place for a long second, his expression unreadable. He looks at me, then at Dad, then at the ground. He gives a short, sharp nod as if coming to a decision, and then turns and follows Clarissa out. The party resumes, slowly at first, and then with more energy, but now it's peppered with whispers. Mom's absence, which had been a quiet fact, is now a topic of open speculation that I neither confirm nor deny. My friends, Rachel, my colleagues, David's family, form a protective circle around me. The war is over. The coup has failed. The weeks after the engagement party are a blur of wedding planning. For the first time, it's fun. David and I pick a venue, a beautiful old converted library in Dayton. We taste cakes. We argue over invitation fonts. There's no financial strain. The venue deposit clears without emptying my savings account. The caterer's contract doesn't require me to skip lunches for a month. And there is no Martha. No criticism, no demands, no suggestions that are actually commands. The peace, of course, doesn't last. The quiet is just a prelude to a new kind of war. It starts subtly. I get a call from David's mother. Her voice is uncharacteristically hesitant. "Holly, dear, I ran into your mother today at Williams-Sonoma. A complete coincidence." My stomach tightens. Let me guess. A completely accidental meeting where she cried into her latte? Well, she was quite upset, dear. She said she's being excluded from her only daughter's wedding. She's heartbroken. There's a delicate pause. "Is everything all right between you two?" I explain, as simply, as clinically as I can. I omit the $40,635, but I emphasize the boundaries, the ambush at the cafe, the smear campaign. By the time we hang up, David's mother sounds uncertain but supportive. "You do what you need to do," she says, but the seed of doubt has been planted. "She got to my parents," David says furiously when I tell him. "That's just the beginning," I say, a cold dread settling over me. It is. 2 days later, Clarissa texts, "3 photographers have suddenly double booked and can't make our date, despite signed contracts." "That's not a coincidence." David frowns, staring at the text. "No," I agree, pulling up my laptop to start searching for new photographers. It's war. The next morning brings the news that feels like a death blow. Our venue coordinator calls. She sounds genuinely apologetic, but her voice is firm. "Ms. Morrison, I am so sorry. There's been a catastrophic plumbing issue. A main pipe burst in the archives. It's flooded the entire ground floor. We have to cancel all events for the next 3 months, effective immediately. We'll be refunding your deposit in full, of course." I sit in stunned silence, the phone pressed to my ear. All our plans, the invitations already ordered, the deposits all gone. David takes the phone from my hand. His teacher's voice kicks in, steady, practical, asking about insurance, recommendations, proof of the damage. When he hangs up, I'm just staring at the wall. I whisper what we're both thinking. My mother. You can't know that for sure, Hannah, he says, pulling me into a hug. It could just be spectacularly bad luck. But his eyes tell me he doesn't believe it any more than I do. A catastrophic plumbing issue. A week after Martha realized she was truly, permanently locked out. It's not a coincidence. I have no idea how she did it. A call to an old friend on the building's board, a donation to the library's fund, a well-placed lie. But she did it. She couldn't control the wedding, so she destroyed it. That night, I curl into a ball on our sofa, watching David make frantic calls, send emails attempting to salvage what's left. The fight just drains out of me. Maybe I should just give in, I say finally, the words tasting like ash. Just let her help. Let her fix this. It would be easier. No, David says, his voice fierce. It would be easier for tonight, but it would be the end of you. We're not letting her win. He picks up his phone and sends a text. 20 minutes later, Rachel appears in our doorway, summoned by David's SOS. She drops onto the couch beside me, her face fierce with determination. This is exactly why you stood up to them, she reminds me, grabbing my hand. This is her nuclear option. The moment you show weakness, they pounce. You give in now, you are her doormat for the rest of your life. So we fight back. We spend the next 2 days in a panic. Every venue in the Dayton area is, of course, booked. It's the middle of wedding season. We're looking at a courthouse ceremony, a backyard barbecue, or postponing for a year. The defeat is heavy and suffocating. I'm checking my email for the 10th time, hoping for a miracle from a wait list, when I see a new message in my inbox. The sender is an encrypted, anonymous address. The subject line is just venue. My heart stammers. I click it. There's no text, no message, just a single link to a website. Black Rock Vineyard, private events, and beneath it, a phone number and a name. Contact, Alex. David, I say, my voice trembling. Look at this. He looks at the screen. A vineyard? Outside Dayton? This looks expensive, Hannah, and where did it come from? I don't know, I say, scrolling to the bottom of the email. There's no signature. Just a tiny, almost invisible image embedded in the white space. A caduceus, the medical symbol. I stare at it. Elias. It has to be Elias. He didn't come to the engagement party. He followed Clarissa out, but he heard Grandma Evelyn. He saw Dad choose me, and he sent this. He's helping me, but secretly, covertly, unwilling to confront Martha, but clearly wanting to stop her scorched earth campaign. It's not an apology. It's not an alliance. It's a truce. An anonymous tip from an unexpected and still untrusted ally. I'm calling this number, I say. I call. A man named Alex answers. Black Rock Vineyard. Hi, I stammer. My name is Hannah Morrison. I know this is a crazy long shot, but I'm looking for a wedding venue for 3 weeks from Saturday. There's a pause. Morrison, you said? Funny. I just had an opening come up for that exact date. A corporate retreat canceled. It's yours if you want it. 3 days later, we are standing on a hillside overlooking rows and rows of grapevines. The sun is bathing everything in a golden, late afternoon light. A small, beautiful stone building with a red roof nestles against the hillside. It's perfect, I whisper, and for the first time in weeks, the crushing tightness in my chest eases. It's better than the library. It's more us. We book it on the spot. The next day, I tell my team at Apex Media what happened. The sabotage, the lost venue, the new one. My work colleagues, my new professional family, rally around me with an efficiency that is breathtaking. My cousin is a floral designer, my supervisor Sarah says, already on her phone. She owes me a favor. She'll handle it. The caterer who did my sister's wedding is amazing, my art director says. I'll call him. He'll cut you a deal. My marketing colleagues, with their massive networks, secure last-minute vendors, a new photographer, a DJ, a baker, in 48 hours. What Martha and Clarissa destroyed with malice, my new community rebuilds with love and sheer professional competence. I spend one entire evening addressing the new invitations by hand. Each one is carefully selected. We're having a smaller, more intimate ceremony now. The guest list is tighter. I reach the last 2 envelopes. Martha Morrison, Clarissa Benson. Are you sure? David asks, rubbing my shoulders. I am, I say, but on my terms. I take 2 plain note cards. I pause, thinking for a long time. Then I write the same message on both. I would welcome your presence at our wedding, but only under these conditions. 1. You will respect the boundaries David and I have set. 2. You will cause no drama, make no scenes, and offer no criticisms. 3. You will make no attempt to control any part of the day. These terms are non-negotiable. If you cannot agree to them, do not come. With love, Hannah. I seal the envelopes. It's not an olive branch. It's a peace treaty, and I'm the one dictating the terms. The wedding day arrives wrapped in impossible, brilliant sunshine. The vineyard is stunning. Dad walks me down the aisle. He's in a new suit. His steps are steady, confident. His new engineering job has returned color to his face and a strength to his posture I haven't seen in years. As we walk, I see the seating. Grandma Evelyn, in a beautiful lavender dress, sits in the front row. She is occupying the space, traditionally and pointedly, reserved for the mother of the bride. 3 rows back on the aisle sit Mom and Clarissa. They are dressed in careful, neutral shades of beige. They are silent. Their expressions are ones of careful, studied neutrality. They are here. They agreed to the terms. David's parents embrace me with genuine, uncomplicated warmth before the ceremony. His mother whispers, "We are so proud to welcome you to our family, Hannah." I don't cry during the walk. I don't cry during the readings. I don't cry until David reads his vows, his voice steady as he promises to be my partner, my advocate, and my sanctuary. Your strength, your resilience, and your courage have taught me what real love looks like, he says, his eyes locked on mine. I will stand beside you, and I will defend you through whatever comes. And I believe him. At the reception, held on the stone patio overlooking the vines, I've placed a small table near the guest book. On it sits the Rising Star in Marketing award I won at an industry dinner last month. Beside it, tucked into our open wedding album, is a single laminated page. It's the spreadsheet. The $42,635 itemized. It's not for them. It's not for the guests. It's for me. A record, not a weapon. A quiet, permanent reminder of what I overcame. During the father-daughter dance, Dad holds me close. "I've never, ever been prouder of you, Hannah," he whispers. "Not for the promotion, not for this wedding. For you. For the woman you are." Later, I find a moment alone with Mom. She's standing near the dessert table, looking smaller than I've ever seen her, less commanding in her carefully chosen dress. "I forgive you, Mom," I tell her quietly, "but I won't forget." She opens her mouth, the old, familiar protest, the denial ready on her lips. But I continue before she can speak. "My home, my marriage, and my finances are off limits to you. From this day forward, that is not negotiable. This is the new reality. You can be a part of it, as a guest, or you can be on the outside. It's your choice." Something shifts in her eyes. It's not anger. It's not sadness. It's realization. The realization that her old tactics, her tears, her rage, her manipulations, they don't work anymore. For the first time in my life, she looks at me with something that is dangerously close to respect. "I was wrong about you," she says finally. Her voice is a low murmur. It's the closest thing to an apology I'll ever receive, and I realize, standing there in my wedding dress, that it's enough. I created a sister dance for the reception, a tradition I just made up. I walk over to Clarissa. Will you dance with me? She looks stunned, but she nods. We step onto the dance floor. The music is light and impersonal. I'm sorry, she whispers so quietly I can barely hear her. Her eyes are on the floor. For everything. The cafe, the video, all of it. I was just following her lead. It's a weak excuse, but it's a start. I know. I nod, accepting but not absolving. Some relationships take years to rebuild, Clarissa. We're only at the foundation, but this is a good stone to lay. She nods, and for a second her eyes are filled with what looks like genuine, unpracticed tears. Across the room, I watch Dad laughing with David's father, his shoulders relaxed. He's no longer carrying the impossible weight of keeping the peace between warring factions. Mom is sitting with Grandma Evelyn. Their conversation is clearly strained, civil but strained. The old hierarchy has crumbled. It's been replaced by something new, something uncertain, and something finally honest. I'm not cruel in my victory. I don't need to be. The power isn't in rubbing their noses in it. The power is in my smile as I go to dance with my husband. The power is in the knowledge that I've claimed my life, my future, and my happiness as my own, not through scorched earth tactics, but through the quiet, unshakable power of boundaries. Boundaries drawn in love and maintained with conviction. Later, as dusk deepens into night and the string lights glow, Elias approaches me. He's been quiet all evening, watching from the edges, nursing the same club soda. Could we talk? He asks, his hands jammed into his pockets. Somewhere quiet? We move to a quiet corner of the yard near the vines, away from the music. He pulls an envelope from his jacket and hands it to me. I never realized what was happening, he says, his voice low. He won't meet my eyes. Not really. I took the money. I let Clarissa handle it. I didn't want to know. It was easier not to know. I open the envelope. Inside is a check, a cashier's check, for $4,500. Dad showed me your spreadsheet, he says, his voice thick with a shame I've never heard from him. The $4,500 for my loans. This is that, plus interest. I sold my watch, the one Mom and Dad gave me for med school graduation. I stare at the check, stunned. Elias, I'm also taking over Dad's medical bills, he continues, the words rushing out now. Going forward, all of them, starting with the physical therapy for his knee. He's not to pay a dime. And you're not. I study my brother's face, searching for the competitive, arrogant edge that has defined our entire childhood. It's gone, replaced by something that looks exhausted and broken. Why now? I ask. Why not at Christmas? Because, he says, finally meeting my eyes, at Christmas I just saw that you were angry. But at your party, I saw what it cost you. And for the first time, I saw what it cost Dad to let it happen all those years. I saw him break. And it was my fault, too. He looks back toward the party. I'm not good at this, Hannah, but the vineyard, it's beautiful. It was you, I whisper, the anonymous email. He just shrugs, a shadow of his old self. I couldn't let her burn you to the ground. It's bad for the family brand. It's a clumsy, self-protective joke, but it's the most honest thing he's ever said to me. He's not my ally, not yet, but he's not my enemy anymore. Thank you, Elias, I say, folding the check. For this, and for the vineyard, it's a start. He nods and walks back to the party, leaving me standing by the vines. 3 months later, the paint hasn't even dried on the walls of our modest brick bungalow in a quiet Dayton neighborhood, but it already feels more like home than my parents' sprawling, perfect house in Ashland ever did. The down payment was a combination of my untouched bonus, the check from Elias, and the first repayment check from Dad. David rests his chin on my shoulder as I hang my MBA acceptance letter on our new refrigerator. I secure it with a magnet shaped like the Colorado state flag. Creative director by day, MBA student by night, he says, pressing a kiss into my hair, and homeowner. How did I get so lucky? I lean back into him, savoring the solid, steady weight of his arms around my waist. We got lucky, I correct him. My new office at Apex Media is amazing. The industry newsletter called my promotion well-deserved for one of Dayton's rising marketing stars. When I read it, I just smiled and got back to work. I didn't even feel the need to forward it to my mother. The doorbell chimes. I don't flinch. I don't brace myself. I don't rehearse responses in my head. Those old, exhausting habits faded months ago, replaced by a steadiness I'm still getting used to. Dad stands on our new porch, holding a cardboard box that smells like cinnamon and butter. Made it myself, he says, offering up his homemade apple crisp. Evelyn supervised. Our weekend brunches have become a tradition. Just Dad and Grandma Evelyn at our dining table, sharing stories over coffee. Sometimes we talk about Mom and Clarissa. Sometimes we don't. Either way, the conversation flows, light and easy, without the toxic undercurrent of obligation that used to poison every family gathering. How's that financial planning course you're taking? I ask Dad as he settles at our kitchen island. Turns out I have a knack for budgeting when I actually try, he laughs. The sound is fuller than I remember from my childhood. Paying my own bills, living in my own small apartment, it feels right. Should have done it decades ago. Later, as December snow dusts our front yard, I slip into the emerald green dress. The one Mom hated. The fabric catches the light differently now, or maybe it's just that I wear it differently, without the crushing weight of anticipated criticism. Beautiful, David says from the doorway. I don't argue. I don't deflect. I just smile. Thank you. Our first Christmas in the new house bears no resemblance to the holidays of my past. We create our own traditions. Cinnamon rolls for breakfast. Presents open slowly, one at a time, with Christmas jazz playing in the background. No rigid timeline, no performative perfection. When I open the door for Dad's arrival, I don't brace myself. I don't calculate how much the day might cost me, financially or emotionally. I simply welcome my father into our home. Merry Christmas, Hannah, he says. He hands me a small package wrapped in Sunday comics, his new signature style, now that he's living on his own terms. You look wonderful in that dress. Green is your color. The word no comes easily these days. It's a complete sentence. It requires no justification. 2 letters that used to feel impossible to pronounce now slip from my lips without hesitation. Hannah, I know we're not, but I just need a small loan, Clarissa says when she calls, testing the waters, just to cover my credit card bill until... No, Clarissa, I have to go. I hang up. I don't feel guilty. I don't feel angry. I just feel... nothing. It's just a business decision, and the bank is closed. My worth isn't measured by what I provide. I said that in therapy last week. My sessions are monthly now instead of weekly. Dr. Patel nodded. You described your latest industry award, she observed, and you didn't once mention whether your family would be impressed. That's progress. Elias called yesterday, genuinely curious about my latest campaign for Apex. Clarissa, I heard through my dad, had to get a second job bartending to cover her credit card debt. And Mom is learning. She's learning that respect cannot be demanded, only earned. Last Tuesday, a junior copywriter at the agency, Jessica, lingered after our team meeting. Her expression was a mirror of my own former anxiety. My parents, she confessed, her voice low. They expect me to fund my brother's new startup. They said I'm the only one with real money. Instead of offering platitudes, I closed my office door. I shared my story, the short version, without the bitterness, just the facts. Then I gave her the book that Dr. Levinson had given me. Boundaries. Some cycles, I said, handing it to her, deserve to be broken. The old family scrapbook, the one Mom pushed aside for Elias's journal, sits on our coffee table. But it's no longer a desperate, pathetic plea for validation. I've added new pages, pages that chronicle our wedding at the vineyard, pages detailing the purchase of this house, pages celebrating my professional milestones. The final photo in the album, for now, is from Thanksgiving. It's Dad, Grandma Evelyn, David, and me, all crowded around our new dining table, raising glasses. The smiles are genuine. The poses aren't stiff. We are all finally in the center of the frame. The remaining pages are empty. They wait, labeled simply, Future Memories. When the invitation to Christmas Eve dinner at our house went out to Mom, it came with clear conditions: respect, authenticity, boundaries. She came. She's learning to navigate this new terrain. She asked before offering advice on the turkey. She acknowledged David's contributions to the meal. She even thanked us quietly for hosting. It's a fragile truce, but it's one worth nurturing. In our new family photo, everyone stands in their proper place. But now, that place is earned through love and respect, not through obligation or manipulation. The Bank of Hannah is closed permanently, and in its place something far more valuable has emerged: a life, a future, a home, a life measured not by my usefulness, but by my joy. If this story resonated with you, leave a like and consider subscribing. You can also drop any comment below, even just one word. Maybe tell me where you're watching from or what time it is right now. Sometimes one word is enough to say you were here.